So first off, we have the heavy quotation marks. Best friends, that's with the still has the worst fan base. Yes, I still think of that today. So when I first started watching the new series, like when it first premiered, I've honestly thought that Albert just saw Eleanor as the annoying little sister. This is so unscripted. So this wouldn't be the only time where once I dive into once I see what the fan base like, then I will get like a super fun special. Like trust me, this isn't gonna be the first time, as you will see once we get to that pairing. That people actually prefer them better than Alvini and Theodore, and think that they're a much healthier example of them. And even like once again, heavy quotation marks, best friends, and I'm still just like, are we watching the same show? Since I never really had a best friend for a long time, but like with best friends like these, who needs enemies? Now, I remember mentioning in a previous video that I prefer Alvin and Brittany more, 100% Alvini. I used to be the Alvini squad. Okay, we'll get to that later. I'm swallowing so much. Because with Alvini, it's like even when they do fight throughout decades, like it's so iconic, and like you can tell that behind the screen they're like having fun with each other when it comes to them arguing. And I don't want to spoil too much, like once we get to that section, which leads to some iconic moments like the goal of rock and roll, of course. But like with these two, like when they fight, like it's like I honestly don't see the pleasure of it at all. Like with Alvini, it's like iconic, golden, like then you tell that they're having fun with each other. But with these two, it's like when they fight, it's like some of the times I don't know, even looks hurt. So I don't get it. Are we watching the same show? Please tell me. Plus, there's also this line in canon.
Did you and Alvin switch bodies or something?
So with all of that said, I had to give them the title of unhealthy fabrication. Now, I am aware that they do have some nice moments from time to time as friends, but like it still doesn't, like I think it's mostly just the fan base that kind of ruined this whole pairing for me. Like even the few nice moments they have kind of just as friends just doesn't really hold up, can't stick to me. And also like the fabrication from the fan base is like honestly, it's just the fans that ruined this pair for me. But outside of them liking sports, which is like similar to me saying that I want to be a writer someday, which is true. I love writing, and so does this other person who I don't share the best chemistry with. Just hyperbolical. I don't even know what that word. I don't even know why I said that word. Oh yeah, I can see what the fans' perspective of what the fabrication is trying to do, since I know what the fabrication is, like I know what the fans' perspective is, and I can understand the fabrication of what they are trying to do. Trust me, I do, since once again, I want to be I love writing stories, and so like I can understand what kind of dynamic they were trying to post with them, even as like a friendship. Like one of the examples of my written dynamics that I can see the fans fight, like we pen like fabricate once again, is with Quillis and Jared from one of my stories, Mythos of the Haunted Hayride. And there's a reason why I said that Mythos of the Haunted Hayride has the best group chemistry out of all of my stories. And so those two are actually childhood best friends alongside their other friend, Amel, who is kind of like the Theodore of the group. And they are presented as a more healthier case of a friendship than these two. I don't even know where I'm going to put the picture up, but yeah, they're Quillis and Jared are like just a much more healthier version of them, since like they don't really fight at all, or they never really get to hurt each other at all. Like you never really get to see that. Like most of the time they're just like friendly teasing at each other, and such as in a joke which I'm not gonna spoil, where Quillis punches his arm and says, "You're so stupid," like that. They'll both seem smiling due to their own sense of goofiness. Like I can tell what they're trying to fabricate, trust me. And during the start of the Haunted Hayride, where Quillis saw Jared's childhood celebrity crush that is actually not is actually a fictional character, Quillis just gets up on her behind and just be like, "Hey, Bandit Betty," which is her name. Like, Jared has a big fat crush on you. And so, Jared just, hides in embarrassment, still with a smile by just their enjoyment of one's presence. I know what they're trying to fabricate. And even in the bigger climax, which I am not gonna spoil, since, Jared, went from a lovable jerk to, kind of, downgraded into just him, like, once again, I'm not gonna, like, spoil what happened, but, like, he saw, like, picking, like, he saw, like, kind of, like, messing with everybody, and so, like, especially Molita, and so, like, Quilla just had enough, and she was like, Jared, stop it. And, like, Jared hearing Quilla's having a more mature tone, just, like, he didn't even, like, come for her, he come for, like, her and her sister's dynamic, which I'm not gonna explain why, but since that would be a huge spoiler to this big climactic, but, like, even throughout, like, even when they have, like, the quarrels, they still, like Jayla will like never openly hurt Quillis or like never really openly pick fights with her. Like he will like target like her and her sister's dynamic instead of just her. So with my healthier version of that case, I can understand what the fans are trying to fabricate between them, and even people who want them to be something more than that, which like once again, all you watching the same show. But to that, all I have to say is just stick with finding your own characters instead of trying to fabricate an already existing one, like like what I'm doing. So next up is a pair that I don't really have that much to say about, since like I don't even know if there's like new episodes where they explore their friendship more, but like since I haven't really seen any, like please tell me if I'm missing any new episodes, since like for me, I never really see them interact that much. Like all I can say is that they have the occasional moments from here to there, and they are both the matured ones out of the trio. And so like maybe if I'm missing an episode where they band together to take revenge on Alvin and Brittany, like if I if I do that being an episode, I mean I don't really like see the chemistry that much. Aside from like brains and balls, like you can do that sort of thing. So with that in mind, all I'm gonna do is like give them the title as neutral friends, since like I really need to see more of them. Once again, I'm not sure if there's like any new episodes that explore the dynamic more thoroughly, since like this is the best I got just as neutral friends, since I don't really remember, I can't remember any like specific interaction between them, and so like this is the best I can do. So next is the one that on the surface looks like a very odd pair, given the sweet and chubby boy with the pretty and mean goal. I mean, Brittany isn't really mean, but yeah, like she has a heart, and which like this is why I meant that on the surface it looks pretty odd, but hear me out. So despite what some may assume their dynamic might be based on their archetypes alone, in reality the two actually share a really nice friendship that I can sort of appreciate. Like this may seem like a random moment for me to remember, especially since I forgot which episode it is, but I know it was from the Mara series where I remember Theodore telling Simon that Brittany told Theodore that unicorns are real. Like, I forgot which episode it was, but I don't even know how I still remember that. And there's like even cases such as in the episode Operation Theodore, where it shows that even Brittany can grow a heart around him. And like before, well, my 20s, okay, I know what I'm gonna say. Like before we went from like just the franchise nicknaming him Dio instead of just Theodore, which I sort of have a pet peeve when it comes to nicknames. I'm sorry. Like for example, when people call me Brit, I mean at times, like just because I sometimes like to refer to myself as Brit, such as in the Lighthouse Village vlog where I title like the room that I had the Brit crib, like that doesn't mean that I will feel comfortable with many people, like especially when I even told my parents that my name is Brittany and not just Brit, so I kind of have a pet peeve when it comes to that. And then there's even the Sleeping Brittany episode. Wow, I'm just like referencing most of the classic episodes when it comes to this pair, where Theodore is like, Brittany is our friend, so we have to like help her or do stuff. I haven't watched that episode for a very long time. I haven't watched any episode for a very long time. What am I talking about? I mean, some episodes I try to like rewatch. I mean, I haven't watched new episodes so far. Like that's how I am when it comes to this franchise, since like I'm working for my break, you guys. I just like slowly starting to like return. So with that, I'm going to give them the title as nice friends, since like despite what you may assume based on their archetypes alone, the two actually do share a nice friendship that I can really appreciate throughout like the classics, and even now I don't even know if the show's still going or not. So next up, we have one of the more popular mixships in the fandom. Let's give it up for Blymon! Fun fact, Blymon is actually the first mixship that I learned about when it comes to the fan selective. And I believe that what kind of makes him so popular in the fan perspective is just the viewpoint of, Blaine deserves better and she's attractive, and Simon, well, he's just attractive, even though I'm sorry, guys, but I never really find Simon to be that attractive. Oh, wait, now you guys are gonna, you guys don't hate me, and you guys gonna hate me now when I actually admit that. Like, even when I was younger, I never find Simon to be attractive. Like, the closest thing that I got is me having a soft spot for Theodore when I was a kid, especially in the Toys for Tots scene. So I'm sorry if I don't find Simon attractive. I never did. So back to Barmon. Even though I personally feel as if they were a bit overweighted as a ship, the two actually do complement each other from time to time, and it's just a beauty and brains dynamic, and also some of the funny moments I kind of get a chuckle at.
Have fun at space camp! It's not space.
And also for me personally, Simon is at his best when he's just being his mature and dry-witted self instead of most of the time it's what the fans try to portray him as. Like, oh, right, when we get to that pill, I mean, I don't know if I have a personal bias since it was my question, but yeah, Simon just at his best when he's just being himself instead of being some fabricated, nervous, I don't even know what to call it, this awkward version of himself. So I don't even know what to call it. So it's nice seeing the side of Simon where he acts more like himself, and especially personally when I gotten older, since I never really find Simon to be that attractive. Once again, I'm sorry guys, it's just he's okay, back on my non-script. Once you get older, you start to appreciate more snarky and deadpan humor, and so I sort of done that with the canon Simon, not the fanon Simon, which we'll get to that soon. And as we top Simon's deadpan humor with Brittany's snark, plus they'll beef with Alvin, then I will give them the title of a really fun duo/alliance, since I can honestly see that happening. I mean, it already happened. They've already been in an alliance. So, just to sum up my personal perspective on Blymon, they are overweighted as a ship, but underweighted as a comedic duo that balances each other out and once again just complements each other's differences. So, on the opposing side of things, we have a stereotypically Wattpaddy teenage Vicky story of the meathead jock with the shy bookworm. So, this is gonna be one interesting take.
Who's that? That? Ha! She's just some nerdy girl that will never get with hot jocks like us. Troy? You know, without these glasses, you're beautiful. When did you know you were going to ask me to the prom? From the moment our eyes met.
I remember last year I wanted to see your face.
So interesting, I changed out my loungewear during that bit. So I remember at one point in my life, when I'm starting to dive more into what the fan base thinks, then when I was start of high school, I'll say, then I would be in an alternate universe where Alvitiny doesn't exist, then this pill could have worked. And as of right now, while I don't believe in that 100%, I mean, I could still kind of see it, not when I was start of high school really, but I mean right now it's this below average levels, yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm not just saying that because of what I sort of showing you in that stereotypical high school drama kind of way, but the two are completely polar opposites, to the point where it did make sense for them to switch bodies in that one episode, Wacky Wednesday. Yeah, I remembered. And there are also times where Alvin can act sort of a protective older brother to her, such as I was originally planning to do a video years ago, towards one of the pros of this pair, where in the treehouse episode, I still remember almost doing this video, but then decided not to do it due to I guess ship wars, the concerns of what will happen if I actually show something that I like about a certain mixed ship, which wouldn't be the only time. Well, it shows one of the most where Alvin acts so a protective older brother to her by distracting Mr. Crabapple. I've tried to remember these episodes by distracting the person when Jeanette got caught on that tree. And so, okay, while I'm doing my unscripted analysis, I find it really kind of cool. Okay, now I need to like get my thoughts and supposed to get this unscripted. So, like when I'm doing my little unscripted analysis, just to connect all these thoughts together, that I find it really cool that Alvin will see Jenna and Eleanor as his own little sisters of sort. I mean, I am not sure if, like, once again, since it's not really, I mean, if there's a new episode, which I am not sure since I haven't watched any new episodes yet, but in the new series, like, it wasn't really confirmed if Brittany is still the oldest or not. Like, I don't care if it's confirmed that Simon is, but with Brittany, it's, like, still not confirmed. Like, with Eleanor, it's the annoying and pestering little sister, and with Jeanette, it's, like, the cute, like, baby doll sort of, like, little sister that you need to, like, protect with innocence at all costs. And, like, I don't care what Brittany thinks, but, like, for me, it'll be, like, boyfriend goals, husband goals for Brittany. Like, if I was Brittany, which, I mean, I am Brittany, but, I mean, the character Brittany, you know what I mean? Then, like, I will just find that boyfriend, husband goals to, like, have my man treat my own sisters like his own little sisters, even though I am a little sister. But you know what I mean. Hopefully you do. So even though I do see aspects of what could be an unhealthy dynamic, such as when Alvin wanted to change everything about Jeanette to win some pageant in the first installment of My Future Pet, this is why I am for now gonna give them the title of It Could Work, just not with these characters. Due to how I feel like when reimagining them as different characters, I can sort of see the sweet and intelligent goody-goody trying to reform this self-centered joke type of character. Like, trust me, I'm a writer, so yes, I can definitely see that playing off pretty well. But with these characters, all I see is just the protective older brother trying to, like, what have I said before? I had this huge brain gas. Okay. Oh yeah, the protective older brother trying to protect his little sweet innocent, baby doll little sister, and so that's all I can see within this payout. But if you want to see me do an edit of those two doing the Heaven to HE double hockey sticks duet song from the Hasbin Hotel inspired song, I don't know if it's a fan song or not, then, like, if you guys want me to do that, then maybe I could, maybe I couldn't. Since that song just fits the polar opposites so well, and so, yeah, that's all I can say about them. And so let's hope that the next pairing coming up will be just as easier for me to explain myself. Good.
Yeah, no sorry, Cletus.
Trust me when I say this, but this is much more painful for me than it's gonna be for you, for me to have to explain myself, especially with what happened 2 years ago and that whole situation, which I am really apologizing for. It's just like, even when I was younger, it's gonna be like so awkward for me to finally be able to explain myself after years. So I don't even know where to start. It's just like, even when I was younger, I didn't really care for them that much, like I've done for Albertini and Theodore. When, like, even when I was younger, which is honestly saying a lot. As during that time of my life, I remember writing a story about my dog Kenya. Like, you got, like, back on my old channel, I used to react to my old stories I used to write a lot of time, and so during that era, I remember reacting to like one of those, like, I used to call them my mini stories, like, based on my doll Kenya, and so, like, I remember writing this story about two 9-year-old kids in summer camp who just met each other, declared love for each other, say, I love you, and then I'm just like, you guys just met, like, why did I witness this at the time where, like, once again, this is saying a lot. Like, 2 10-year-old children falling in love in summer camp, they didn't really, I mean, the ending was, like, so random. Like, it was just so random, like, food, like, again, a safe book for your child to read.
A good and safe book for your child to read.
And so the fact that even my younger self never found interest in them like she has in my younger self done with Alvini and Dino is just saying a lot. Like, I don't know what was. And I mean, might because they didn't really get any screen time in the sequel, or maybe it's just like this is just my younger self referring to the fact that Jeanette was a forgettable character in the movies. That if I were to like go back in time and to tell my younger self that Jeanette would be one of my favorite characters, then my younger self would probably be like, who was that again? And once again, this is saying a lot that even my younger self was never impressed with the whole Simone arc and stuff. Like, even when fans of this pair try to like, play off like Simone's actual assignment, which like it's so odd that even my weird little 9-year-old self was smart enough to knew that that was never the case. How is this possible? Like, I kid you not, when I was younger, I thought Simone was gonna turn evil at one point due to the spider vices. Once again, I never really find something that attractive, and I never really find these fancy, like, alter egos that attractive either, as I was, like, more at all and kind of, like, I mean, no, do you know or do you not know? Did I ever tell you that when that I was more impressed by when Theodore and Eleanor were dancing and acting like the realistic, like, fresh off their honeymoon couples that they were presented there. And like I was more like flopping around my bed and stuff when it comes to Theodore and Eleanor, but like since I know that that was Simone and not really the real Simon, and so I was just not really impressed. I don't even know how my younger self was smart enough to detect this, but not many fans of this pair were. And during the rest of their canonical appearances, I still never really find any, like, I don't really see the chemistry that much, since most of the major appearances consist of them playing fictional characters or alter egos, such as in Chipback with Simone and in Sploosh with the characters, I forgot what their names were, like one doctor and one mermaid. And so fans are trying to think that it's their actual selves, when I'm just like, I mean, even though when I was older, when we visiting the 80s, and once again, it's still strange how even my younger self was smart enough to know that Simone is Simone and not really, how did, like, when they take pictures of Simone with Jeanette, then they, like, try to play it as if it's Simon when it's not. Then I'll just be like, that's not how it works. Like, a fantasy version of them, where they're not really themselves, like, that's not how it works. Like, it's not just saying that Chip Tracy means that Alvin and Jeanette are actually dating and engaged. Well, once again, that's not how it works, you guys. And then there was parts of me that feels kind of guilty, since during the past, I don't know, years, like, there's still this part of me that want me to try my hardest to like this pair. Like, literally my hardest to try to force myself into liking this pair, even though deep down it was just, I'm gonna save that bit for sooner, but I wanted to, I really just want to try my hardest to find enjoyment in them, like I've done with Albania and Theodore, but they just don't really have that factor when it comes to my approval. Like, the closest thing I ever gotten to that in the past is just what I like to call the, oh yeah, that's sweet kind of moments, where I literally just acted like so unenthusiastic, since I can never really interestedly analyze or deeply construct anything within, like, these two characters in this kind of dynamic. Like, I can never really find what chemistry they had, apart from them being the the shy nerd who likes to help each other out on occasions, and I'm just like, okay, that's like similar to my oh yeah, that's an oh yeah, that's sweet moment. Okay, so and I'm just like, and okay, so they are the smart ones. So I mean, it's not like Alvini is just uh the pop star one, or Dino is just a food loving one. So come on, you guys gotta give me more than just that. And so seeing that even my younger self, which is saying a lot, was never really interested in those two, like apart from the oh yeah, the sweet moments, and like everything else was just like I mean, I mean, they're fine, I guess. Like, it went from that to then just the fairness portrayal of them, which, let's just say, I rather have me still be in my oh yeah, that's sweet kind of face, and just how I stopped watching new episodes. Because let's just say that the fan's perspective of them was pretty much trying to gaslight an unhealthy codependent dynamic between them. Well, like, take my question for example, my Tinkerbell question that got so out of hand. Like, wow, thanks a lot, sis. No, it's not really her fault, really. It's like, I wish I have never asked that question. Like, for real. For real. I really meant that when I say that. I wish that I have never asked that question. Like, who knew that Chris could have flipped over a Tinkerbell question? Okay, I'm so sorry. Like, really. Like, for a Tinkerbell question. Okay, really, like, part of me trying to reason with this pair is that just fact that Canon Simon would have never flipped over a Tinkerbell question. Like, Simon is supposed to be the smart and mature one who would, like, that seems more like an Alvin thing to do, to be like, oh, that's not the question. That question isn't about me. Like, that seems more like an Alvin thing to do. Like, Canon Simon would never. So that's why I need to separate the fan version of them to the canon version of them, since Simon would never do that. I don't even care what any of you say. The canon Simon would never act that sort of way towards a Tinkerbell question. And so now here I am, looking all stupid today and trying my hardest to, like, what's it called? Trying to compliment on a pair that, like, even when I was younger, I was never interested by. I never find the chemistry at all. I found the chemistry with Alvitini and Diano, but never with these two. Once again, I am completely sorry. Like, as much as I tried, like, for years, I try to force myself to, but most of them either come off as, oh yeah, that sweet kind of moments, or the, oh honey, you're trying, when they're trying to, like, impress me with these two, but I'm just like, you're trying, but I'm sorry, don't, I just, like, my reaction time isn't working. And what's even more guiltier, what I find even more guilty, is that I have even more stronger reactions towards a mixed ship. I mean, a perceived mixture, since I hate trying to refer to this as a mixture, because towards me it's more than just a mixture. Like, I have more stronger reactions, as I will get to later, than I do with this pair, and I can't control myself when I have these kind of reactions. It just happens, and I can't do it when it comes to them. I try to force reactions, and I try to make it seem as if I'm just like, oh yeah, that's cute kind of stuff, but no matter how much I try, I can't find any chemistry. I can't find the factor. I can't find anything. I'm so ashamed of myself and so stupid. And so now look at me looking like a stupid sort of dumb, seeing the fans' portrayal of what is supposed to look as perfection, but deep down it's just unhealthy codependency. Yeah, I am just boo at me all you wish. Just boo at me all you wish. So if we were only judging this by the fan's perspective of them, then this would be a whole nother different title, trust me. But in the canon portrayal of them, since I wish they would have just stuck with what is like the oh yeah that's sweet. Since I want to have something that is like oh yeah that's sweet, like bland, but also like not really my cup of tea. But it's oh yeah that's sweet. Then just have something that villainizes me all for a flippin' Tinkerbell question. Then I'm sorry guys, but I have to give it the title of not my cup of tea. Sorry guys. Like, I think what suited this honest ring for me in the canon is that even when I was younger, I was never really that intrigued by them as I was with Alvini and Theodore. So just not really having that enthusiasm from the start and then just having the fan portrayal of them be so unhealthy, it hurts. Then yeah, I have to give it the title of Not My Cup of Tea, or as some of you British people might put it as, which I did practice this accent, they never really tickle my fancy. Okay, and so now we are getting into the pairs that I can show all my enthusiastic personality over with, since we got all the unenthusiastic ones out of the way. For like, trust me, since like my reactions are like uncontrollable, like I can't control whenever I'm like getting these kind of feelings or not. So yeah, now I can act more enthusiastic over the next one, which is the one, the only, Alvitani. I tried to like do my little Alvini squeeze that I used to do in my head. Have I ever said it out loud? I think I have in one video where I was like, Alvitani. I think like that was I used to call that my Alvini screech. So even though Dino has always been my childhood favorite, which I can't wait to get to that soon. As a kid, I was able to recognize the sparks of chemistry between these two, and now that I've gotten older, like as I sort of gotten older, I started to appreciate them even more throughout the years. So do I really need to say anything about these icons, since like everybody already knows? When it comes to me looking back at the 80s cartoons, I remember thinking of them as the stubborn version of Mickey and Minnie. And strange enough, in their lovey-dovey nice ones, and I'll just be like, no, that is not my identity. I want to see them compete. I want to see the competitions. I like to see them fight. Their rivalry is just far too iconic to let it go to waste, and you can tell by just any source of media that these two were literally made for each other. Like the way they compete, and how their chemistry just like blossoms. Like these two, hopefully I employ at the right image, they are made for each other. And it's like deep down, they have this dynamic where they love to hate each other, which is something I really love. And many fans, like who doesn't love this rivalry? It's so iconic. And they just know that deep down, their lives will be so much more boring without each other. Like, without having each other, like, grab at each other's throat. And, like, is that... And similar to the previous pair, which I wish enough speak of, let me give you a hint. They're smart. That's the only thing about that. Back on topic. Yeah, some of the fan portrayal of them is not that good compared to the real thing. Like sometimes they try to like up it and to make it seem as if it's unhealthy, which honestly it's not, since like deep down they are both flawed people who like the Girls of Rock and Roll is just like a great example of how their rivalry dynamic like just flows harmoniously. I mean, even though they don't know it, but like it just shows how their rivalry just like they love to hate each other. That's the entire dynamic, and how deep down like the rhythm of their rivalry just flows perfectly into this dance. But also the Moncast, since I remember saying this before, that I have watched the Moncast way longer than you guys even know. Like back when it was called Monkey Media, like trust me when I say that I have watched the Moncast way longer than you guys even know. Back when it was called Monkey Media in like 2019, like it just started when I started watching the new series reviews, and then I just saw the Moncast, and like I've seen it way longer than you guys even know. Then... Oh yeah, they try to make it look one-sided, as if Britney is always in the right, which, like, the best part about them is that both of them are flawed beings, but we just love to see them get at each other. And so if he only made Brittany be like this innocent person, because like I knew for a long time that Brittany is his favorite. So yeah, the film portrayal of them once again is never as fun driven as the real Dang. Like I don't really give that much of a care about how so many people might find their fights to be like taking things out of proportion or stupid, like such as fighting over an apple, or even worse, a Tinkerbell question. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm still bitter about that. Personally, I just find like the chemistry, like such as the way they dance and the way they get up closer to their face like that with each other. Like it's the way they show off their love deep down inside. And even though as of right now, my young adult self isn't really as hyper of them as my teenage, like what did I say before? Oh, first year of high school self. Yes, when they saw holding hands, and I'm like, oh my god, they're holding hands. Or I think it sounded more like, oh my god, they're holding hands, they're holding hands, they're holding hands. Whatever I sounded like in my head. And they do actually have some really nice depth to them, which I'm gonna show you in this clip here.
Why did you stick up for me? Yeah, it's like with my brothers. I can torture them, okay, but no one else can.
And even though there was another pair, which we'll get to soon, that displays this kind of action in a more soul kind of way. It just comes to show that deep down you can tell that these two really deeply care for one another, and even their rivalry is just a sign that they love to hate each other once again. And while we as the audience are just having fun on this ride of this rivalry of two hotheads like getting on each other's throat, but deep down, like you could tell that by the way they dance and sing together, like it was a really smart choice to make them to make their sort of their arguments, their sort of rivalry blend together with the music and the dance. Like it just fits perfectly and it harmonizes greatly. That's what I personally feel like, and it was like a really smart choice to do that. As it has been taking me months to be currently creating this Albany music video, like it's so far it's taking months. I'm not sure if it's because I'm not sure. I mean, I know what I have the clips. I have the clips, and I have some of the positions of this song, and so yeah, I am currently working on an Albany music video, but I also currently working on other videos too. So that got pushed aside. Like since I started editing in February, but then really in August, and yeah, but I have the song, the thumbnail, and one of my favorite clips that I added, and which I'm gonna mute just so no one can get an excuse of copyright. With that so far being my favorite moment in the music video, as I am currently still working, but I'm also working on other videos as well. Since it just shows that despite their outer discordance, lack of harmony, I feel like that the three dances that I show that I sort of like blend together, like it just like went from this and then to this, and like it's basically the same thing. Like they know how to harmonize with each other perfectly. And like it's just the way that the rivalry just put and how they harmonize is perfectly. It's just like such a huge contrast that I really love to see and I really love to analyze, which is why I'm making this music video that is taking forever. So of course I have to give Brittany the title of OTP Icons. But the Scalion Productions wanted to give Albert a goal that he can have fun rivaling off and competing, and they succeeded. They succeeded that perfectly. They are the true OTPs of AATCs, get it? And yeah, just they're like such a popular pair and like one of the best of the popular that like you guys already know what they're about, so they're just all around made for each other in this harmless duet of life. I can't say that enough. And so on the flip side of two of the most I really don't want to say me like two of the most Buddhist and harshest characters that are more on the meaner level of the spectrum. Let's do the flip side of two of the more sweeter sides of the two more sweet. Wow, I described myself to a toady that once again I decided to have you seen this outfit familiar to the toy analysis review? And also I decided to let my hair down for this, for the last two. So, I don't know, this looks pretty, doesn't it? So, nothing can even describe my earnest disappointment of the fans of this show not giving this friendship any light. Nothing can describe, I had to see this friendship for myself, and I am a bit disappointed at them. Also for not showing the side of Theodore that I kind of see, which we'll get to that lastly, but not leastly. Which I kind of feel like not many of those dynamics that I just mentioned got to shine at any light is mainly due to the fact that, first, it's just probably the fact that not many people are fans, that not many of the fans are fans of Theodore, and which, if my younger self knew about this, then she would be confused as heck. Since, I used to have a soft spot for Theodore, and my little self, Theodore used to be my favorite character, and so my little self would, be so confused to see, why isn't Theodore getting any light? Why isn't he in any fan stories at all? She would be so confused since my little self loved Theodore, so, my little self would just be confused by why isn't he here? Where is he in this? We have Alvin and Simon, and then Brittany and Jeanette, but also sometimes Eleanor. So, sometimes they don't even allow Eleanor to be there, but not Theodore, so I'm just, confused. Did the fans just forget about that moment in the squeakquel where, Simon and Theodore couldn't do it without Alvin? I didn't meant to put it like that. I didn't say it like that. Didn't meant to sing without Alvin there, and so, you can't have one of, if you can't have one of us, you can't have all of us, then something like that. You guys remember that scene in which Brittany out of all people called Alvin selfish afterwards? Whatever happened to that? Forget all of that. Let's just leave Theodore out of the stories. And I personally feel like the reason for Theodore not being in that many fan stories is due to the fact that he is of bigger size, and many people like to flatterize that bit to it being his only bit where, his sweetness is just gone out the window, and yeah, which is truly kind of us. It's I mentioned this in the AI challenge where I even incorporate this joke in Mythos of the Haunted Hayride. Second time I'm mentioning Mythos in the same video, where the group has to fight off these evil animatronics that are Quillis, Jared, and Mel's childhood fictional characters that are sort of a Chuck E. Cheese parody with FNAF mixed into it. They're called the Quinto Queso Gang in the show called The Quinto Queso Show, where it consists of 5 members, with 4 of them consisting of kind of offensive stereotypes, and only one of them has an actual in-depth character. And so when Quillis first saw Piggly Thing, who is supposed to represent the fat stereotype of the gang, as a teenager, since once again I still making their ages ambiguous, except for Joey, who is Jared's little brother, and he's 4 years old. Then the first thing Quillis decided to say is, wait, Piggly Thing is supposed to be fat? And then the rest of the group just gave her this awkward look, including Joey, since he's supposed to represent the nice but wise beyond his years kind of kid, which got in Jared to say the line, "Of course Piggly Thing is supposed to be fat. That's his only character trait," which I've already mentioned before that it's kind of a weapon to me when I was younger, since I would never be aware if a character is supposed to be of bigger size or not, since I was part of my chubby cheeks myself. I still miss them though. And what can come off as kind of embarrassing is that even when I get older, I still have those kind of moments where I will be unaware if a character is supposed to be a bigger size or not. I mean, at times I can't tell, but especially when I'm sometimes when I'm older, I still have those kind of moments where I'm unaware if they're supposed to be a bigger size or not, unless they unless they get to select some of the stereotypical traits such as eating a lot and stuff, so then I can like pick up that fact easily. But then other times I'm just like unaware of it at all until some people start mentioning it and start describing like some of the features as chubby, and then I'm just like, how did I not know this before? So here in my stupid expression where I realize all the kind acts these two have done for each other in the past, and to the point where Jenna would just go all the way back to the river raft. I'm trying to remember the episode in which I just analyzed last year. We'll just go all the way back just to fetch out Theodore's doll of himself, and like gone all the way to the like she done the most. And ever since that day, I just grown this kind of fondness over their friendship. And what I kind of hate about this most is that I was having like these kind of reactions, like whenever they're on screen, I'm having these kind of like hyper reactions as if it's a ship, which I'm like trying my hardest to deny it. If it was like, since it was like a similar reaction to when I react to ships, but like I like it as a friendship, so I was like trying my hardest to not do the, like I used to call it the ship screen, which I don't do this anymore thanks to them. Like they are the reason why I realized why I have these kind of reactions at the start, since like I have no control over them. As could never forget the time when I was eating expired homestyle vanilla ice cream with chocolate syrup. Yes, I can never forget that the flavor. Then when I saw a clip of these two wherever I'm pointing at these two, not pointing in the middle since I don't know where I'm gonna put it at, these two sweet shy people, or should I say manatwakas, if you guys know what I'm referencing. Then I went all kind of psychotic and like flipping out my bed and like trying my hardest not to like shout out the word and trying my hardest not to scream out, since I wanted to be a friendship and not just without the friend. I'm sorry. Like I had no control of myself, and I even remember breaking off a strap of the nightgown I had, and even like puking up many times in the trash can. Like it was a crazy reaction that I am so embarrassed for, since it's a mixed ship. I mean, I hate calling it a mixed ship. It's a friendship to me. And then that's when I decided to think long and hard about why I usually have these kinds of reactions when it comes to pairs that I can get envious over. And like that's how I learned that it was just out of pure envy and not just me being ship crazy. It was just out of pure envy, since I never really have friends. And I also decided to go back, kind of back to where these reactions sort of started, and which, like, I mean, I guess some of you might think of Theodore and Eleanor, but I mean, technically that's pretty much it, but not. I wouldn't really consider that the official one. Nah, it was back when I was an ugly sixth grader, an ugly crazy sixth grader, and the pair was Harvey and Perry from Harvey Beaks, and I think I've already mentioned this in the toy analysis review, that it was kind of like what I like to consider the first official ship that got me all like that kind of reaction out of. And similar to Theodore and Jeanette, Harvey and Perry are also sweet and accepting characters. And like you guys don't even know the kind of disappointment where, like, similar to how you would like go back to where you last placed it, like that is with me and how I get my reaction. So when I first rewatched the episode that I went gaga over back when I was a crazy sixth grader, then I was like that is so cheesy. Like when you get to rewatch it when you get older, like you get to realize that the episode was like so that the major episode with them is so cheesy when I first rewatch it, and then they sing about like they're literally friends, like friendships and stuff. It's so cheesy. Like they played that separate pair off as them growing the friendship despite Peter like showing like hints of blushing and having this kind of attraction towards Harvey. And I mean, I can't really say the same about oh, so I see that I got a type. So the thing is that whenever I see Jeanette kind of acting these kind of gestures towards Theodore, it's as if I'm watching a whole nother character. Like that is not the same character, I sort of feel. I mean, I like this character better, but it's not the character that I expected by the fans perspective. Like whenever she's just like doing this kind of stuff, then I'm just like, hi, random person that I have just gotten to met just now. My name is Brittany Hill, and where the heck did you come from? And I know that I am the only one who can never overlook the fact that those two technically shared an indirect kiss to Shirley's Lavender Warble, which I have a huge pet peeve of. Like, I don't even do that with my parents, so yeah, it's just, I have a huge pet peeve when it comes to like sharing those type of achy stuff. And yeah, so it kind of disappoints me when many people try to play Theodore and Eleanor off as the sweeter dynamic, which, like, even though we'll get to Theodore later, the true essence of Theodore, then everyone tends to overlook, like, for real. It kind of saddens me a bit, like, in a goofy kind of way. How much Jeanette goes unnoticed in any of these Theodore scenes that she, like, I guess unintentionally tries to interrupt that. Like, I'm trying my hardest not to sound like a joke, but here are the few examples of what I mean by that. I will try like say in the nicest way possible.
You saved my life, Theodore.
Theodore, you can do this. You just need practice. Red velvet fudge. Oh, I do.
And while I may want to save some of that for the Theodore bit, but like I'm just gonna get my little headcanon here that like simple that Eleanor was actually one of the aspects that strengthened this friendship in the first place. I mean, not really in the first place, but in general, given that, like, she did push Theodore into taking Jeanette to see that movie one time. If you guys remember, I added in the out of context moments. But unintentional or not, this is still, like, a really beautiful friendship and a really sweet and beautiful friendship that I used to my gaga over, but not anymore. And like they sort of like helped me during that case, since like once I learned like the reason why I always get so gaga over ships, like since this is a friendship and I never really see them in that way, then it sort of made me not really have these kind of reactions anymore. As that's why I mentioned in the last video that my ship list ended up shrinking thanks to them, and how I realized why I'm doing this. And yeah. And as mean-spirited as this show can get at times, I find it really nice to actually have a really genuine friendship where you could actually tell throughout all the time that they're friends, unlike some of the other bonds. And if I'm not wrong, since once again I haven't seen any new episodes yet, so maybe I'll be wrong on it, maybe I won't, but like in the new series, I mean, outside from Alvin and Brittany, they are the only chipmunk slash pet pair that actually shared an on-screen hug in the new series. So with all the criminally underrated goody mush aside, goody friendship mush aside, I am gonna give these two sweet shy motherfuckers the title of my sweet dream friendship that I earned me for myself in the universe. The fact that two of the most shyest characters in their respective trio can have such an open and warm and comforting bond with each other is something that I would have never expected when at a young age, since I was like I was like a DNR stan when I was at a young age, and so just to fall in love with this friendship later on is something that I would have never expected. And so even though like I'll probably keep it brief, since I've already imagined how this friendship literally like sort of changed my life in the toy analysis with you, and so I'm gonna keep most of it brief. Like who would expect is that I already mentioned this multiple times that people who know me in real life know that I don't like to talk that much and I can come off as really shy and quiet, and so yeah, like most of the time in real life I always seem to come off as that, and I never really had any friends, so I saw like get all these type of reactions during like these kinds of friendships or relationships or stuff. So like I learned that it was based off my envy. And so it made me want to write my very own story about this kind of friendship feeling that I can like spread towards everyone, since everyone needs to deserve to have seen like a similar kind of friendship like this that goes like seriously goes unnoticed. So yeah, it inspired me to like specifically one on the topic of neurodiversity and friendship, like two birds in one stone. And so yeah, it got me to like Glass Bottom Boat and like start developing it. And yeah, I've like sort of already mentioned this in the toy analysis review, so once again I'm sort of keeping it brief there, but yeah, it helped me inspire me to create Glass Bottom Boat. And so in conclusion, give the internet more light than it deserves. And also, like, once again, personally, I find them to be the most sweetest out of any of the Chipmunk and Chiphead pairs. And so, yep, that's how I'm gonna end it here. Surprise! Fourth and final outfit change of the video. And also, I just got my hair done. If you like when I do my pigtails like this, just to fit in with the final pairing of this video, because of course I need to save the best analysis, unscripted analysis, for last. So here we go, my childhood favorite that I love even more today. This is Theodore and Eleanor. So once again, I am a bit disappointed by the fans' perspective of them, since let's just say that if I were to tell someone that Theodore is one of my favorite pairings, then let's just say that person might think that I like Theodore because of the sugary sweetness to it, and also just like actually give pictures of, like, let's say a picture above here where they don't really it's like showing them not really having any chemistry on purpose. Like, I don't even know why fans like tend to do that. I mean, I would probably agree with the sugary sweetness claim at the time that they can be sweet to each other. Like, if I was younger, then I would have agreed to that claim probably. Also, because Theodore is my favorite character at the time, and so, like, of course I had to support this pair, because
He's so smooth.
but nah, that's not it. I mean, probably when I was younger, I would agree to that, but nah. I mean, like, this is why it's one of my favorite pairings, because it seems as if I kind of grew up with the ship. Like, I liked it when it was all sugary and sweetness, but now that I got it older, I got to see what the fans were trying to hide from me, which I can't believe you would do this to me. Like, I find it both comical and a bit insulting to my knowledge that at first when you see them, you might think that they're like the sweet and loving coupling of them, but nah, like to me they just like, to me, like, when you look deeper, then they actually represent sort of like a loving bully dynamic that can take Sam Puckett and Helga Pataki out of the window. And I kind of love how this sort of relationship was even foreshadowed in the appearances of the 80s cartoon, where Theodore could tell that she's nervous based on how she's eating plastic food, which, I mean, come on, who doesn't eat when they're nervous? And then Eleanor, like, I'm not sure if this is supposed to sound angry or not due to the kind of monotone voice of the earlier days where she's like, "Who says I'm nervous?" And then once he explained to Eleanor what she's doing, then she gave out like this really cute blush that, like, to this day, I still find the scene to be like small but really adorable to the start of their dynamic, and like the foreshadowing people, or should I say, ooh, the foreshadowing. Since as much as some of the fans like to pair the canon ships of Alvini, Samina, and Theonore, mainly because of their shared interests or similar shared interests. Like, to me, I personally like Theonore because of the two opposites, because of their like different personality and how they clash to like create this such a beautiful bond and a really fun, doable, beautiful bond, should I say? And so, like, I don't like that because of shared interests. I really just like that because of the opposite of how different they are and how, like, their differences just mash together into, like, such a beautiful bond. Like, I just love how you can take one screenshot at them and you can tell, like, the different personalities between these characters. I mean, like, one is, like, sweet and shy and a bit meek and like that, while the other one is, like, so confident and kind of looks aggressive in some sort of way. Like, that's why I love their new personalities so much. And I know how much fans like to tease the fact that Albini sort of acts or feels like an old married couple, but to me, it seems as if Theonore acts more like a married couple in every sense of the way. Like, from their teamwork and loyalty, which we'll dive more into the loyalty aspect later after this bit. Yep, another bit coming up. And even the more subtle, playful tactic to this dynamic that I just love even more. And I am still disappointed by how I get to learn all this stuff myself and how you guys never tell me about this.
I said a peanut. Thank you, Theodore. They told me we were going to the candy store. Yeah, well, technically this is candy, Theodore. Eye candy.
And so, on the topic of loyalty, I think I've already mentioned this before, but it seems as if Eleanor is the only one out of the Chipettes that shows any shred of loyalty towards not falling for their counterparts' alter ego like Brittany and Jeanette has done. Like, with Brittany, she fell for Alvin's alter ego, Captain Chipmunk, from that Von Phil's Valentine's Day special. I'm sorry, I just don't really like Valentine's special, unlike it was something like for my YTP, well... Or how we all know Jeanette fell for Simon's alter ego, Simone, like everyone and their grandma in this franchise fan base knows, and how the fans try to play off as if Simone is really Simon, where it's not. Like, it's just, like, as much as I love my sweet little girl Jeanette, I sorry, but like, this is so disloyal to like just be dancing with some total stranger with a French accent. But now, like, when it comes to Theodore loyalty, it's like, Michael Ellie knew that something was up with this new persona of Theodore, like, in the Meet the Wolfman. Like, Michael Ellie knew that something was up with Theodore's new persona, Theodore's new alter ego, and she was not falling for it. That's why I love her. So yeah, of course I have to give Theodore bonus points for loyalty. And okay, returning back to the new loving boy dynamic, I just kind of love the smallest details where I took like these shots like years ago, like just in case I need to analyze them, which, yes, here I am today. And so, like, most of the time where Theodore looks mad or angry at Eleanor, he doesn't really like give off the angry eyebrows expression like you will normally expect when you're mad at someone for constantly picking on them. Like, he just gave off, like, this kind of, like, dry look, like, this sort of, like, straight eyebrows, or, like, the worried eyebrows kind of look most of the times. Which is why I still find Theodore to be, like, the better representation case of a married couple, since, like, no matter how much Eleanor might, like, get on his grind or, like, steal his food and all that stuff, like, he still, like, you can tell that he still deeply loves her, like, he still has feelings for her, and he would never get openly mad or, like, openly want to hurt Eleanor back. Like, he's, like, I personally feel like to make the loving boy dynamic work, like, to make it seem more like a healthier case, like, since it's just enemies to lovers, except it's more one-sided on that case, then like, I personally feel like the victim to like this whole dynamic needs to like deliver a lot of patience, and like you still need to see the good in them. And once again, this is unscripted, so like, if Theodore really meant it when he told Eleanor that she's great just the way she is, then that should mean that like even throughout some of the times of anger and aggression, he will still love her and he will still like show loyalty. And since once again in the married couple sense, it's mainly just about recognizing the flaws that you're now starting to realize in that person that you may not realize before, such as some of the anger and aggression. But like deep down you still care for that person no matter what, and you still stay by their side. And like as much as like once again in this little bit, another bit. Okay, I don't know why I done that stuff. Like you still deeply care for that person no matter what, and you never want to like fight back. You just have to like recognize their flaws and like try to still love them for it and stand by their side no matter what, which is why I still love them so much. And so on the flip side, within Eleanor's part, it seems that I can sense a lot of emotional chemistry within them. And like especially like whenever Theodore isn't looking, like you get to see this shot. And like once again, it's like those the small details I just adore for them. And then there's with this small moment, which once again, like Eleanor looks so pretty in this shot. I can't really describe it. Okay, so oh yeah, at first she gives out this like tough little smirk, like this tough covered little smirk, like sort of touchy like the smirk. And then like once Theodore like pops in the screen, and like after he sort of like leaves, or like if Eleanor knows that he's not looking, she gave out like this adorable little, like I'm not sure if she was blushing or not, but like it was like such an adorable look like when he's not looking. And since once again, I haven't really dived into any new episodes just yet, but I'm just hoping that in the episodes that I missed while I was taking my break after, okay, like you already get it, you already see what I meant, so why even bother repeating it? Okay, so like I don't know if like they later explore these kind of feelings between these two, since like it's like so complex that I am so disappointed that I am the only one who detailed this loving bully dynamic between them. Like since there's like so much more emotional complexity than anyone ever imagined there to be. And so we're turning back within Alvitiny in the line, I can torture them but no one else can. Like Dino also like gets to show like this kind of dynamic as well in a more soul kind of way that once again I can't believe no one told me this. Like I have to analyze all this stuff for myself.
Did you see whining in the schedule? No, you didn't? Because we don't have time for that, okay?
You should be, Barf Boy.
You don't call him Barf Boy, mister.
Either that or you should prepare for me to make an Eleanor the Hypocrite Part 2, since I didn't expect the first one to be that popular. But yeah, if you want an Eleanor the Hypocrite Part 2, then this might be a great example for it, you know. And I know that some people can flag off Vanessa's Battiscarian voice acting for Eleanor, given that she sounds less like a chipmunk, should I say, less high pitched than all the others. But there was just something about Eleanor's like emotional cadence, like emotional shift during like this small little scene that like in this show it looked as if she was about to cry, that like when we watched it, and it kind of made me want to tear up a bit, like due to the fact that I had to analyze this for myself, number one, and number two, like this is just such an underrated moment, and it just really shows off the hidden complexity within the dynamic based on like just this emotional shift in itself.
Theodore just left for the airport. Theodore, baking powder, now. Theodore?
And it kind of gives off this hidden message that the emotions that a person might display in front of them isn't all that it seems to or appears to be like. Since despite how many times the fans like to overlook this side of Theodore that shows like more aggression, deep down it really just shows that like even throughout like when she like gets out like this angry expression, like deep down she like really deeply cares for her Theo when it matters. And like same with Theodore, like he would never openly get like how Eleanor would treat him, like he would never act that sort of way back, as and how no matter what he still saw the good in Eleanor, such as when he literally has a dream when Eleanor is scared about him, like, Theodore, what's wrong? You haven't speak all day, honestly, whatever it is you can tell me. Like, he literally just had a dream with Eleanor caring for him, which got reflected back into the real world, which my ass is like so cool. And also, like, this highlights more the dynamic that they know what they're about to say to each other, and like it shows that like even Theodore knows that they were so good. And also when he saw Eleanor getting embarrassed on TV and literally went to that place to help her once again, like he still sees the good in her, and like if that's not husband material for you, then I don't know what is. So once again, they just have this fun, adorable chemistry, which is a word that I made up. It's funny and adorable put together to make fun adorable, with tons of hidden depth and emotional complexity that everyone tends to overlook within like this loving boy dynamic that everyone tends to like over. How many times do I say? Like, once again, this unscripted, so I'm sorry for my bit of klutzy editing or klutzy wordplay. Which, even though I remember one point Theodore like decided to like give a small mouth to be like, "Thank you, Eleanor. I didn't know that. I didn't realize that," or something like that. Like, deep down, like they still see the good in each other, and it mainly does moments like that that can strengthen their dynamic into more complexity when you realize it. Since similar to the married couple analogy, they may like get on each other's nerves at times, but deep down they still stuck by one another when it counts. And once again, if anyone were to ask me, it reflects more of Theodore rather than Albertini, which if many people like try to come at me and say that I like Theodore for the sweetness, then I'll just be like, "Oh, no, honey, no." Or even worse, I can say that I like Dionette's friendship for their sweetness, but Theodore's relationship for their emotional complexity that constantly gets overlooked that I need to analyze for myself. And so it's like you can tell that deep down they are obsessed with each other. Like there's even a hidden portrait of these two that I found out that I even saw way back in season 1 of this show. Like, there's even a hidden portrait there, which highlights one of the married couple kind of sense that was in the Chipet's house, and like sometimes I even saw it in the Seville's household. So to conclude my unscripted thoughts on the ships, I have to give Theodore and Eleanor the title for overlooked, fun, doable, loyal, subtle, loving bully relationship done extraordinary with tons of hidden depth. There's a reason why I consider them my favorite to analyze, and yeah, do I really need to say more since I basically just gave out everything? Like, once again, Eleanor Miller can give Sam Puckett and Helga Pataki one for their money on how to do a loving bully dynamic just right where it doesn't look unhealthy. As you can tell, like in the smallest details, such as in their loyalty and not wanting to change for each other, like when like Theodore noticed that Eleanor doesn't look comfortable in their shoes, as she looks great just the way she is, and how Eleanor doesn't like this new persona of Theodore. Like, once again, it's just their loyalty shines through better than any of the other couplings. And as much as Theodore has always been my childhood favorite from the start, like getting older, I started to realize all the hidden depth that many people tend to overlook, and I started to like love the flaws within their relationship even more, to the point where it represents an old married couple better than Albini does. As part of why I personally love their opposing factors more than their similarities, it's because it just shows that despite many of the flaws within a relationship, like it can really blossom into something that is so loyal, deep, and caring, just like them. As the quote from Among Us logic with my terrible Mr. Cheese impression, wait, no, is it not? Does Mr. Cheese say that? Oh, okay, now I'm still gonna do the bad impression, like first take. Here we go. Perfect relation, no, is it, oh yeah, real relationship isn't perfect, and perfect relationships isn't real. And so if it wasn't for the fans' portrayal of what appears to be like the sugary sweet dynamic, then I would just go on and like say that Albini is my favorite now. If the fans' portrayal was actually true, but nah, seeing the overlooked version of them just comes to show like what a relationship is truly about, and that relationships is never perfect. Like, it's never just this sunshiny happiness that many people might expect. No, it's filled with a lot of pain, and throughout all this pain, you have to like I'm saying this as if I've been in a relationship before, which like this is just me being a single Pringle saying what a relationship should reflect on, and it's not about reflecting on their perfections. It's about learning about their flaws and embracing their flaws and like going through all the pain and hardships and just still be there for your someone and like still be able to like run across the streets to like still be there for that person no matter how they might treat you in the past. And just the Theodore in the show just perfectly reflects that hidden depth of their relationship that I still really love even more till today. And so mainly just for both points of the loyalty, once again, I still find them to be they are the best coupling till this day. They are the best coupling till this day. It's like it's not an opinion, just bonus points are just thanks to the bonus points to their loyalty, they are the best coupling to this day. And if I ever get started to watching new episodes once again, then maybe I'll have even more fun trying to analyze their new moments. Like, who knows, the new overlooked moments that nobody ever seems to tell me about. So, that should be fun. And so, before I end and conclude my DNO thoughts, yep, do you guys recognize the sign that I had in the Toys for Tots analysis? You guys recognize this sign where it says little things make big days? Yeah, I feel like it's sort of like even today, even though I saw saw watching new episodes, I still like left the fandom based on what happened with a Tinkerbell question and stuff. Well, it says little things make big days. I'm looking like these, like there's more of these signs all around the basement and even in my mom's office, which is upstairs. So she has a virtual job, and so I have these signs all around. I mean, they have different saying, they have different quotes, and so like if you want proof, then okay, I'm going. Do I even have a script or not? Since like I mean, I didn't expect this, but like see, there's like signs over here and like there's signs everywhere that shows like even one phone down here. Yeah, like these signs are like all over the place. So within that, it taught me to appreciate more of the subtle little details within DNR that many people tend to overlook, and which is why I still love their relationship till this day. And so I still hope that one day maybe people get to see more of the love and bully dynamic within DNR and start to appreciate more of the subtlety and the littlest things that get brought up within their dynamic, and so why I still cherish their hidden depth till this day, and I hope many other people get to still see it too, just like I do.